Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're here for Shonen Ronin episode 18, a weekly Shonen Jump 42. Let's get started. Let's have a good show, and it's happy Sunday. We know the chapters came out this past Friday, but guess what? The show goes on. Let's have a good day. Let's have a good time, and let's show our beautiful, lovely faces. LegendDVash, SamTheMangaMan, and down below is the king of games, RayApollo. And not the clown. But here we are to have a good, lovely day. How we all doing on this lovely Sunday afternoon?
Actually, very good. Today was like, I took my time, had brunch with the lady, and feeling good. Yeah. How about y'all?
Had a good. Got a cut. Chill.
Looks good. I like it.
Yeah, Sam looking sexy, guys. By the way, Sam is single, so if you want to hotline his DM, it's at SamTheMangaMan.
Leave Sam alone.
Yeah, right? Leave me alone.
At SamTheMangaMan, IG, Twitter, and Discord as well down below of all the links of where to find him if you
leave my boy alone.
Right. But myself, I've been watching Shaman King on my time off, so sucks that I cannot always do content. But I've been watching anime, been getting back into it. So Shaman King, 9 episodes in, I'm about to be on episode 10, so I'm almost done. Once Sam is done, we'll do a review of Shaman King, and if Ray wants to jump on those 12 episodes, we could definitely cover that. But I really enjoy Shaman King.
Finally, I'm glad you're really talking positively about Shaman King again.
I don't know where's that negativity out there, but I'm enjoying the shit out of it. Like, I'm really having a great time.
We did say that you will enjoy Shaman King. It's not like you wouldn't. It's because we grew up on it. We literally knew how it was going to.
I grew up
to it too. I just never had the time to actually see it.
Favorites when it comes to like shonen. I love Shaman King. It's great.
It's classic. Yeah, very classic.
So I really had a good time. But
you know what else is a classic that you should be watching a long time ago? Hunter x Hunter.
Listen, he's gonna get there. I'm cutting him some slack. I'm gonna let him get there. He's gonna get there. He's gonna enjoy it, mostly because he's gonna be on my side, so it's fine. He can take his time.
Yeah, don't worry.
James, even though he has like 11 days left, and then we're gonna have to take a second waifu.
Listen, if he chooses the right side, I might amend things. Who knows?
and don't worry, Sam. Me and Ray spoke. Some things are happening next week, so definitely for sure.
Yes. So if he I'm gonna let him decide. Like, he gets to make the decision. So if he chooses the right one, no pressure. Who knows?
wait until like the last minute, the last hour before his waifu gets taken from us. It's like, wait, nope. Side contract.
We will see.
A side deal has been made.
He's gonna have a good time with Hunter x Hunter, and I have a prediction.
I feel like it's right because I've been getting back into my anime watching. So Shaman King is once I'm done with Shaman King, I don't know what I'm gonna hit next. Maybe Eden Zero, because I know Sam has been slowly binging that too.
Is Eden Zero out?
Yeah, the first 12 episodes. The first 12 episodes.
Is that on Netflix?
Netflix? Yes, Netflix. Yes. It's still out. That too. It's still out in Japan, but hey, if Ray watches that too, maybe you could see a small core coverage for that.
Yeah, I might watch that with you.
So I definitely want to hit that and see, because I heard a lot of positive things about it. But people are here for manga coverage of Weekly Shonen Jump 42, and let's kick it off with one of the series that came out this past Thursday, and it's Kaiju number 8, chapter 44. So let's get on with it. Ray, let's see how you felt about this beautiful adult woman getting through the captain of the division and sadly lost her life in battle. But sad story. But it gave somebody a motivation to be strong in the field. How did you feel about that?
I really like this chapter, mostly because we got more information about the kaiju weapons, which I had been waiting for, and it was one that I kind of anticipated but didn't expect. Is that it shortens their lifespan because using something that you shouldn't be using essentially as a human. Makes sense. Which leads me to believe that theory about Kafka might be true, that he'll be able to use them without having to worry about his lifespan. Potentially. It's kind of what that sort of, in a way, confirms for me. But no, this chapter was sad. It was really, really, really sad. But it really made me excited for Kikoru's growth. She is going to be a fantastic character. And it makes me really happy, but it's more, I want to see that relationship between her and her dad kind of glow and grow from this, because this is the moment where, this is where it's going to become no, I can do this. We're sad about mom, but she wouldn't want me to just not do anything. essentially. And same for you, essentially. But it was. I also thought it was like he was like, I'm about to go out there and save my daughter, but they were like, hey, bro, listen, you can't keep using this. You gonna die.
You can't use that. Because I'm her father kind of excuse. Nah.
Yeah, it's like you also are the captain of all of this. So if you go away, you're in trouble. So
you're like my guy. You're the general. We need you.
You yourself are only going out there if Kaiju number 8 goes crazy. You wanted to test them anyway and stuff like that. So you need to trust your soldiers. Yeah, trust your men.
Exactly. You need to trust your daughter. Essentially, is what it's kind of in the roundabout way of what they were saying. That was like, good.
But also, I like what they said. The next page, they say this is also a trial for the next generation to overcome, because they know that himself as a general, the vast captain that's right there with him in the office, they're getting old, but they know that they also need to put their faith on the next generation, aka Kafka and his daughter, to know that can they handle this. And I love how the communication of what our girl Shinomiya and Kafka had, like, yo, I don't really want to ask you this, but is there something going on with Kaiju number 9 restricting your power? He said, yeah, most likely. And they said, I need your help.
He doesn't necessarily know, but that's what she believes. But it's like what she's thinking.
They assume.
Yeah.
And I love how...
It's not. It's definitely not.
And I love how she's working together with him to try to take it out. So I love this duo, and I hope we see that more of this in the future as well.
She asked him, she was like, can you transform? And he was like, yeah, no, I can't. She's like, all right, well, then I have to do all of this.
Yeah.
Like, she just assumed responsibility immediately. And I'm like, good for her, because if she hesitates, they both in deep doo-doo. So I'm glad that this is like her moment. It's like, yeah, Kafka, we'll get more stuff about Kafka later on, but like, build up all the other characters around Kafka first and then make it more interesting. I love when stories do that, because then it does make everything that happens interesting while you build up your main character.
Agreed.
So this was a solid chapter for me. It was like it made me really, really, really care about her, which I already kind of did before, but now I really do.
I do want to
add... gives us the clue of another kaiju weapon, number 4's weapon.
Number 4. Well, 4 is not a weapon.
So hold up. So before you go, because I do want to talk about 4 and number 6 too, because I love how what you said, Ray, that we're getting more character of her, because we don't need Kafka so much, since we know he's an MC. We're gonna get more backstory of him eventually about his kaiju and everything else, and him as a character. But when the creator builds other casts, it makes us care. And when things happen, when there's a need to die in the character for character type of development, it also makes us care for these characters within the story. So I love that very much. And within this flashback, like Sam brought up, we get the Kaiju number 4 is actually an armory, like it's an armor for.
Yeah, I was assuming it was the suit, like it was the armor that she was wearing that was number 4. It was my guess, because they didn't show a weapon, so maybe they didn't show a weapon on purpose. But I was like,
it's really hard to tell. She had like a staff-like weapon.
Yeah.
But we can't necessarily see. I'm thinking there's something to do with a spear or something, because they called her the Grace of a Valkyrie.
So that's why I assume, because we have no Valkyries, they wear very nice armory. So from what I could tell, this could be the armory of a Valkyrie, is what they call it. But this is probably from Kaiju number 4 as the strongest one of the weapons.
Right. That's what I was thinking, because it just makes sense for one of them to be a suit, So I wonder what kind of abilities it had. Like, will we ever get to find out? Like, I know that it's sad. It's like, yeah, she's dead, but it's like, what did her suit do? I want to know.
And will her daughter be the one handling?
I hope so. I hope she gets a suit. Like, it would really truly make sense to me. It'd be real sentimental if she got the suit.
So, do we think, did the suit kill her, or did the Kaiju number 6 kill her?
Number 6.
Sounds like number 6 did.
Okay. Because we saw the injury in page 14. No, sorry, in page 15. So I thought maybe it was the suit itself.
No, the suit is damaging her, because we know. Remember, each number weapons shaves your life. You're more likely going to be taking injury as much as you inflicting them.
And they didn't say, so it's probably one of those things where she was already hurt, and the more she exerted herself, the shorter it made her life. So that's probably what happened.
Okay, so I was just trying to understand that. But in the Kaiju number 6 is the one
that's
that.
just my guess. That's not. I mean, I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's just a guess.
6, we already knew about the incident. Literally destroyed almost half of Japan.
So it sounds like it was an incredibly powerful kaiju.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess, where was the colonel? at that time? I guess is my question.
But I don't think he was a colonel at the time.
Well, I mean, but he was still a part of the forces, my guess. I don't know. I'm like, where was he then? So,
I think he was like
that's why he has so much guilt about it.
I think I think it's the same situation where like he had to put his trust on his wife to be able to fight this kaiju, and I guess like in this moment where she died, he felt like powerless. Like I could have done something, and I could have used this. And now he's in the same situation of PTSD where his own daughter is being put into the same test with another kaiju number. And he's like fighting with just like Kafka.
By the way, Kaiju number 9 is a hoe. I can't stand it.
Dude, those spiders are creepy as fuck.
He turned like an ant into like a spider, and I was like, this is nasty, and I hate it. But dang, it's so good.
And then like he has that invisible bullet gun or release speed, like bang, 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 and literally like shoot him up. It doesn't stop our girl Kukyoru. Like she's apparently moving much faster than she usually does, and she's learning more.
What is that?
And they compared her to her younger mother, saying moving much as fast as well as like stronger.
Was that? But also, I love how we find out the backstory of this flashback that this is her motivation of why she will save everyone in her place. But it's because she will not let no camera die on her watch. So she's motivated by an ambition drive. But she's using that as her skills, like her father said, that she's getting better and better. But it's because she's hungry to save others. So I just love that we get the reasoning of why she's so very determined. Because she lost her mother, and she told her mother, "Mom, I will save you. I'll be the one to save you one day." And she could have never get the opportunity. That's why now she doesn't want nobody to die on her battlefield. And that panel in page 2021 of her telling herself that she's a liar, and then about to cry to her father, and her father has that guilt on his face, like, damn, my dude, you have that guilt.
It's more
it's like your fault.
He feel like he's at his own fault. While she sees him finding finding a person to grief with. He's in his more guilt phase where like I could have done something. Our daughter just lost her mother, but then like she doesn't see him that way. Like you were trying to do what you can by protecting her. Now like let me do the same as my mom and protect the people, protect my comrades, and do what she do, and that's same motivation, which is great. It's a great character build, but the problem with that is like you putting yourself in the front line of everything, and
it kind of reminds me of
with the doubt where you're gonna get killed.
It kind of reminded me of for the Hank Pym of the MCU type of situation of where like they lost the mother, but Hank Pym was not there for the daughter and was just there trying to find a solution for the mom. It kind of reminded me a bit of how the father with Jenner, he probably put his all time into the general type of position, into the government, trying to fight the kaiju instead of trying to be a father and be there for his daughter while they both lost the mom. Like this is what it kind of reminded me a lot. Like it's both sad, but they're both neither in the right or wrong. They just didn't know how to go with it.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Grief is different for everybody. Everybody handles grief differently. And it's just it's sad that she lost her mom at such a young age. And I love that she's taken that resolve and she's applying it to help other people. It's like now I can help other people, and so I'm going to. And I love that. Like I love that for that character. She's a great character. She's one of my favorite characters who jump right now. So now I just want to know, can number 9 control other kaiju? Like is he really the reason why Kafka can't transform, or is that just in Kafka's head?
I think it's just Kafka's head, more like because remember when number 9 came out, he thought that number 8 was there, but he didn't see him.
Well, so
he just saw a human in Kafka.
I still think that he can sense other kaiju, but I don't think he can necessarily control
stop the transformation
unless he does that weird symbiote thing like he did with these.
Yeah, that was nasty, but yeah, that's what I think too.
They look so nasty, but like the designs, they're very good.
And then somehow he enhanced them and makes them stronger and stuff. It's like what scares me is the duplicates.
Yes.
He makes the duplicates.
Yeah. My question is then if you kill these two, couldn't he just go to one of the other ones that he's already like out there?
Yeah.
Like, so how are they going to get rid of this? Is what I really want to know. Like, how are they going to get rid of number 9?
Yeah, like it kind of remind me a bit of Panda from JJK. Like, can you split yourself, but is there still a main core? Like, can you replicate stuff in somebody else? Like, that's what kind of remind me. Like, can you?
I mean, yeah, there is a core. Remember, all kaijus did have a core.
Yes,
Kafka
but
himself had a core.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that does Kaiju number 9 have it? And whenever he splits, does the core split or does it stay in the original one? Is what I'm saying.
Stay in the yeah.
So it just depends which one is. Like, does a core split or does it stay? So we just need to find more answers. And I love how each chapter it builds the story progression, but also gives a flashback for a certain character, and we don't feel like it's out of the blue. So I love that for this chapter itself.
Agreed. Like, for real, this chapter was like super solid. Like, Kaiju number 8 hasn't disappointed me yet, and I don't think it will in the near future. So I think my final thoughts on that one is just that, yeah, Kafka get out the way so she can do her job.
For my final thoughts as a chapter is that I can't wait to see what chapter 45 brings, and where can we bring with Kafka in his new transformation, and when he transformed, would he have a new design? Because he's trying to probably break out the shell, and since last time we saw him evolve, will he get those new type of evolution he had last time when he fought the general?
That is a good question. Will he look different? That is a good question. I hadn't thought about that.
So that is my curiosity for that, and hope to see in the next chapter 45 in the next couple. Sam, your final thoughts?
Definitely to see Kafka being Kafka and knows his knowledge of kaijus, and maybe a better weaknesses to these ants kaijus, because the best thing you can have is have your reinforcements to come right away, especially when you can't transform. Another thing is, like, I don't want him to transform and fight back just yet. I want the other captain to come in.
Yeah, I wonder what he's.
I want the other characters to jump into these fights, because I don't want a One Punch Man situation. I don't want this. Like, if Kafka transformed, that's how we know. Like, when he's ready to finish this fight, that's how we know this arc is gonna end, or episode's gonna end. So that's why I feel like give all the other characters their spotlight. Let them do what they do best, even if they don't win the fight. We already know that Kafka is gonna be the one that finishes it, but give all the other characters a chance. Let's jump into this fight, do what they can do. Boom.
Question about that.
More better.
Would you guys want more of a Kafka type of fight, like longer, like more of a comeback, or do you think that he will stay consistent with the 1, 2, 3 punch and just call it a wrap?
I think it's going to be different, because I think that these kaiju are going to be a little bit more powerful. It's going to take more than just hitting them really hard to get rid of them, especially this one. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a little wild. I'm like, they have the potential to do something real wild with this, and I'm really curious to see what it is. So, I mean, this could go a whole lot of ways in my mind, and we could sit here talking for another hour about all the ways I think it could go.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure.
And like, we already seen like how number 9 can escape. And like his many trickery ways of escaping, literally like the real symbiote. Like, if just a small part of it's still alive, just gets away, he'll just reform his entire body, literally outside the area. That's how insane number 9 is.
Do you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of the TI, I think the TI 1000. Like, you know, like always.
The T1000, the Terminator. Yeah. Oh, gross. Yeah, the liquid one.
Yeah. That's what he reminds me of.
Chat was that a 2000 or 1000? I don't remember, but I hated that thing. You're right. He is like the he's like that Terminator.
It just reminded me of it. I'm like, shit, Sam.
Yo,
like,
throw some lava at him. Get some lava. Get magma. Whatever you can. Melt this son of a bitch.
It's like Sam just helped me connect the dots, and then boom, like, holy shit, he's like a Terminator.
It could definitely open up. Hey, you know, these ants makes tunnels. You know, the center of the earth is hot, lava, magma. And like, how you want to pierce it through, just to let magma flow through and hit the kaijus.
This will be interesting. Chat, let us know what you guys think about that reference to TN1000. Let us know what you guys think about this chapter 44.
I want to know y'all's overall thoughts on Kaiju number 8, because I still don't see a whole lot of people talking about it. And that concerns me just a little bit.
I think it's because they need more story and fight. Because it's bi-weekly again.
I mean, and we are the people who are literally we're really connected in all this, so we're always paying attention.
It's the same thing with like My Hero Academia Vigilantes.
Vigilantes has been on for a while though.
Yeah,
110
exactly.
or 112 chapters
Yeah.
that thing has.
100 something.
And I also
it's
see
been
that
good
one
too.
ending soon. So
109, exactly
yeah,
109.
I see that one ending soon. Yeah,
I need to
but
catch
no,
up. You
it's
know,
good, it's
I need to
good.
catch up. But yeah,
I need to go back and reread some stuff. So yeah, but yeah,
definitely.
I love Kaiju No. What's next?
chat. Let us know what you guys think about it. Let us know down in the comments, and also tweet us. Let us know Discord too. RayApollo Discord is down below, and the Anime Discord. Let us know what you guys think about Kaiju number 8. And for that,
y'all should just tweet at me. I don't look at Discord.
yeah, that too. With my busy job, I think Sam is the only one.
If you tweet at me, I'm more likely to respond.
Yeah,
So
Sam is probably the only
me.
one right now of the team that probably checks both Discord.
At me on Twitter. Don't DM me. At me on Twitter. I'm way more likely to respond.
Yeah, Ray brings a good point. So, other than that, let's jump into the exam of Red Hood, and let's talk about what you guys want, a side business, make some money on the side, or what do you want to be with your friends and actually be there for one another?
Look, so
I mean, why not both?
this
Succeed
dude,
together.
The dude that they introduced in this chapter, I was like, okay, I don't like you at all. Like, I don't like anything about that character. I was like, that's really weird. I was like, it kind of works. I feel like in the for Japanese culture it works, but for me, I was like, okay, less about this dude.
We're talking about the mob boss looking guy,
The
right?
mob boss looking dude.
Yeah, because
like, I don't give two F's about you.
yeah, because our boy Mero was on the point. He's like, my boy, I would never even work for you if it was my last thing I'd do in my life. And then when he spoke about I want to make money because of war, and I was like,
there's always gonna be people who feel like might is right, and this is the kind of person that is, and like, if you're the strongest, that means you should be better leader or control of everything like that. And if anybody disagrees, this is the kind of
he basically he was a very ambitious type of
he was very ambitious. He was like that panel I think in page 4 when my boy was stretch arms and literally like trying to like say conquer the world. He reminded me a bit of our boy Armstrong, but instead of the bad character, not the good character type. And like, my boy, like, you literally the Armstrong here, but you just don't sound any type of good. All you want is just carnage and just make money. That's all you want.
You know he's bad news when he's choking out your boy.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't know who you talking about, Sam. I don't know who you talking about.
No, he choked you out. But no, for real, it's like this character was the right kind of character for the situation because it really gave me somebody who I did not like at all, going against our people to kind of show their resolve and what they're all about. And I'm gonna call him our slime man, our slime rancher. I love that character. This character is so cool now.
Or maybe he's a scientist. You know, he's a scientist.
Definitely a scientist. But like, I love this character. This character is so damn cool, and it's because I don't think I've seen anybody have a character like this. Period.
He reminds me.
I have similar.
There's a few because there's one in One Piece that who's very he works
Does
for
he use weirdo like molds and junk.
He's the guy that works for Blackbeard. He's the guy on the horse, Sam. He can remind me on the guy on the horse. Or
this dude, he reminded me of Shino, but like cooler and less creepy. Shino is creepy. I don't care what nobody says.
Shino from My Hero, right? Or are you talking about Naruto? Naruto. Okay, cool, Naruto. Yeah. So that one I see it because this guy, it's just the hair, the design remind me a bit of the guy from One Piece who's a sniper, or the guy on the horse for Blackbeard. You haven't met them, Ray. You meet him?
Oh no, not yet. Like, you talk about Blackbeard. I know Blackbeard's way off, right?
Yeah, that's way later. So like this is what this character remind me of, and once I find out that he's like a scientist, I'm like, okay, makes sense for his type of demeanor. And once you spoke about like why he wants to work for the guild and has a research in it, okay, you have your own reasoning. It remind me a bit of Hunter x Hunter. Yes, for the 6 episodes I've seen, yes.
So he reminds you of Leorio a little bit.
Yes, a bit Leorio.
And that's what I said that in the chat. That's what I meant. He's a much more serious Leorio.
Yes.
And like, but also way more interesting right up front.
Like, man is already a doctor, and
it's like he doesn't really care about being a hunter. He just wants to see if his research can help the hunters.
Help the hunters and
Which
make
is
a better way for the world.
Motivation, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I did understand your reference.
You did.
I'm also glad that this chapter also gave us some more reference about the world, because the big guy saying like the guild like already has a monopoly on a critical business of monster hunting, enough to the point where it can literally go to another country and negotiate, like and like reason with to hunt these monsters and stuff like that, as well as being able be only guild to manufacture with the wolfium.
Wolfium, yeah.
And it's their trade secret.
Which I mean, that makes sense because they say it in the chapter. It's basically to protect the world from people like who use it for their own gain.
Yeah, basically, because like if you're the only country that has the weapon to kill these monsters, of course you want to negotiate more. Like you have the better end of the stick.
But it also leads to like people who don't have enough to negotiate getting left out to dry. You know, which sucks. And I can see from if he came at it from that angle, I might have sympathized with him a little bit more, but he was more about the money. So I was like, well, F you, I don't really care about you. But I'm like overall, I really like this chapter because it really did show that our boy Velu is not just smart, but just capable. And that means a lot. Like there's a lot of potential. Like this character's got Gohan potential. But I hope that they don't squander it.
And also, I like the MC continuing Shonen Jump trait. So you know how we get Luffy bringing people all around the world, but changing their personality, changing the good side and everything. We see that in our boy Deku, bringing all the heroes, Baku, changing the personality and everything, like bringing good people around him, and he's like a magnet. I love how Velu shows that. Why at first Bunkers and other these characters were like having the same idea, but they want to execute this idea, but Velu helped them out to work together and bring each of them at the end of the chapter. He said, let's get ready for our counterattack. Like he has a whole squad now and everyone believe in Velu. So I love how he has this MC type of trope and is showing it in the beginning of the series already. So I'm hopeful with only 11 chapters that so far this series don't look like it's getting axed yet. So I love how it shows story-wise its progression.
Because the art is incredible. The story is still super interesting.
Yes.
And they're now fleshing out characters to make them more interesting. Because I'm not gonna be that guy that says, oh god, this thing is so amazing, bro. Because there's still so much that we don't know. I really enjoy it. And I would recommend people check it out if they like what they've seen so far. But like we're only 11 chapters in. And I think it just has a ton of potential, to be completely honest with you. So that's what I'm hoping that it continues, because there's so much more about this world that I want to see. And I want to see more of my girl Debonair Diamond.
So what I noticed, what Brandon tweeted as well today, saying that she also has a full outfit because she told them, oh, I just need the top half. I'm like, wait,
that's exactly right.
At first, when I read it, I'm like, oh, probably just top half she meant. But once Brandon brought that up on the tweet, I'm like, oh, she meant top half only. She didn't plan to use the full suit. I'm like, oh, so girl got a whole full suit then.
Piece of her power, bro.
Yeah. So I'm like, girl got a whole full suit, like an Iron Man suit. I'm like, that is dope.
I'm gonna need to get a picture of me drawn with both her and Merriopios having me in a headlock. Sounds great. I need it.
They're both fire types, so that'll be funny as well. Oh, that'd be awesome. I wonder how will she handle the volcano of the fire squad, huh? That'd be interesting.
I mean, that fire magic is OP though, so we'll see. But no, I love this chapter. This is another really good Red Hood chapter. Like, it just keeps getting more and more interesting, and it keeps giving me nuggets of like character development that I really like, that keep me interested in the story. So. And like I said, the art is great. Like the slimes, like when he showed what it was in his pocket, the detail on that was
in each glance is different.
I loved it. It looked so cool. And plus, I'm like a sciencey nerd, so it was really cool to see something different like that being used.
And plus potion magic in there, just
a little bit less magic, a little bit more technology.
More science. It's just straight science, which I thought was hella cool.
And creativity as well, like showing that, like, all those different type of herbs could do it together when he makes them up. And to add to what Sam just said, like, I love how in this type of series we learned that each character has their own type of magic, hex, and like their own different type
curses
of and attributes.
I can't wait for the chapter where they break down all the differences, because you know we're gonna get it.
I'm waiting for that, because I love how in the beginning, I think it was chapter 10 or 9 was it, when they said that in this exam we're gonna get this and this, and then we find out a whole hex type of thing going on, and then we get our girl saying that, oh, you have some type of hex powers, was you cursed by a witch, was, you know, this happened. I'm like, oh, so each thing, like,
there can be different kind of hexes and curses from different, like, you know, because, you know,
I mean, it makes sense
by
though.
A witch, you can get cursed by an object, you know, there's all kind of stuff that can happen.
Because Fairy Tail has that weird magic curses and that sort of thing situation anyway. And then you want to bring in your own technology.
I mean, I assume that the wolves are cursed, you know, so it's just, that's something that's kind of continued on.
I mean, now we're going into like supernatural curse.
I know,
make werewolves and vampires and stuff like that.
Perfect. I love that. It would be so. I think it'd be lit.
And plus, it'd be fascinating to talk about, because of what this Monopoly guy, you know, did. Spoke about
spoke up. It's the Monopoly Man. He's bald like the Monopoly Man too. Nailed it.
And plus, has a mustache. And plus, a mustache too. But
he needs a top hat now.
It'd be interesting to talk about.
And a monocle. Actually, he doesn't need the monocle.
He's got an eye patch.
He does. So it'll be fascinating to see when they talk about Wolfsbane, because he also brought up Wolfsbane. So it'll be interesting to know what other type of abilities, what type of artifacts do they have at the Hunter's Guild.
The secret trades and technology.
So that'd be fascinating.
There's a whole bunch of different kind of arts too, because he had his weird workman arts. So yeah, I'm curious about that too, to be honest with you.
What it's so versatile about Merriopios? I don't know the slime guy's name.
His name is interesting.
I'll just call him scientist guy, or I'll just call him Mary.
What's even interesting is that they can also work as communication devices, because he used the green one to do the whole entire vine thing. Like, where's this vine?
About, like,
is it coming out like that?
They confirmed that this chapter. I was like, where did they get that from? And they confirmed it for us this chapter. Oh,
yeah.
It's like, oh, if it's this thing, it means this. If it's this thing, you go to plan A. If it's this, go to plan B.
Is his name Merriopios? Merriopios.
Merriopios?
Merriopios. I don't know, Chad.
I just call him Mary, guys. That's what
I'm just gonna call him the slimologist.
The slimologist.
The humble scientist. That's what I'm gonna say.
The humble slimologist.
The slimologist, huh? Interesting. Well, that's it for the Hunters Guild Red Hood Chapter 11 review / discussion coverage.
He needs a Rimuru slime.
He'll be OP. Oh my god, OP.
By the way, side note, my Rimuru figure came in. It's up front though. I'll show y'all later.
All right, copy.
It talks and everything. It's
oh my god, I need to see that then. All right. So, want to tackle JJK or My Hero?
Let's talk JJK, because this one.
All right.
JJK is good, bro.
There's so much to unwrap with JJK.
All right, y'all. So we switch it over to JJK, and I just JJK is a writer. Like, first of all, he is a writer. Like, yes, he is, a mangaka, but this dude is a writer. Like, this chapter was, if you didn't believe it, this chapter should solidify for you, bro. It was so good. Keep going.
He touched a part of the real world life where you never expected he would go into. But the only thing we know about this new character inside the Cullen game was he used to be like a judge or something, because he had a gavel, and now we're getting the backstory for him.
I don't know. I feel like his curse technique involves the gavel, because I don't think he was a judge. It seems like he was just
he's a lawyer. Yeah, he was just an attorney.
He was a defense attorney. Is what I think. Yeah.
And but he feel like this world is unjustifiable.
Well, he basically he lays it out, and this simply put to me is the justice system is flawed.
Very flawed. Like, especially when the moment I read in Japan, 99.9% of criminal trials ends in a guilty verdict. There is something wrong right there. There's a huge problem with that in any system, in the justice system in the world.
I mean, all the justice systems are busted.
That's it's all flawed. It's all flawed. like it could definitely be improved, and it can be fixed, and sometimes it works, but more often than enough, like there's always gonna be people of higher power and network or money.
Well, I
to
mean,
help them
he
escape
says
from
it. He
this.
was like, at a point, he was like, the system branded him guilty from the very start. So it didn't even matter what evidence they brought. And then he goes on, like, when he's sitting on the swing, he's talking about, ever since I was a kid, I couldn't leave things alone. If something wasn't right, and if something wasn't right, he couldn't leave it alone. And then he talked about the law and Lady Justice. This is good, because he goes, Lady Justice wears a blindfold to represent the law's impartiality, and people close their eyes to spare themselves the truth. Basically, to make it easy for them to just make a decision, guilty or not.
Yeah.
But even so, in order to not shake off the hands that cling to me, even if I'm the only one, I want to keep my eyes open. How else do you see
the truth
in things? And you have to actually look for it. I was like, ooh, this character's
guy,
gonna be good.
And this guy was digging for truth. He was having his assistant like, look into this account, look into this account. I'm going to talk to all these other residents that knows this person personally, and like to figure out if everything's flawed out or not. And she feels
so good.
But how the assistant is, I get where she's coming from. Where district attorney does not get paid enough. They get paid from the taxes.
They have a very mentally
draining job.
Taxing job. And then they don't get paid very much. And then everybody is already against them because they think they're working for the bad guys.
And they aren't.
Yeah, and it's like not every time they are. Like they're not always doing it. Some people are just people who are literally in a bad place. Like that, like the guy who just like he planned on turning it in, but just got nervous and didn't turn it in. And I'm like,
that
happens. That is possible.
That is possible. And we've seen that in crime shows. We've seen that, and it's a possible interpretation. And when he said, and like for him to believe, when he said, "Thank you," like thank you for believing in me. And
I'll let people know in real life, not many higher up lawyers take up pro quo cases.
Yeah,
not unless they like have a higher like gives them more of a name in that situation.
Yeah, so it's just this chapter was very, very powerful. It hit hard.
And plus the art
is based in like reality, like in terms of the justice system. And I was like, oof.
What's horrible is even once the justice system worked and all your hard work came to be, the problem is the appeal.
Yep.
And
he said it. He was like, we didn't win. We won this part, but they're gonna appeal and it's gonna be like ruled against them anyway.
Yeah, like appeals works both ways. Like even if he was guilty, you can always appeal and then have a try to have a recase and retrial later on a date. But it doesn't mean you're a free man. You're still they has to still keep you in prison until next court date.
And the guy knew, and that's what Miguel was like. He said, "Thank you for believing," because the guy knew. He was like, at least somebody tried to believe him, because he knew. Yeah, and I was like, dang, that's.
It's so real. Like, it helps prevents the death penalty, and also like lets people know I am innocent, and I have people that does believe in me and that's second guessing with proof and evidence. But like, what's so hurtful is like the appeal are all from he says she says, and it's what led you a guilty verdict, and that was the most messed up and what hurt me the most.
I just love this panel in page 14. It shows the anger, the anguish, and knowing the guilt. In this one panel in page 14, it says the system branded him guilty, and just showing the eyes of anger from the very start. He was branded guilty, and the judge even asked him the lawyer asks, why do they look at me like that? And he just asked himself, it's like,
well, that was the defendant. He was asking, like, why do they look at me like that? And it's because they already think that you're guilty. They don't care, bro. They don't care about you as a person.
And it's just that panel showing the drawing of the eyes, and like Gedge really flex on this panel for me, because just showing the drawing of his eyes, just showing the anguish and the anger.
Because he sees you like, I thought you were here to help me.
Oh my god,
the guilt and attacking him of it. Or even if he does believe that you were trying to help him, it's more like there's nothing more that he could have done because the system
had already
so
determined where it was going to be.
Exactly. And plus even his friend asking like, what about your mental state? Like, and I was going to say, I'm not trying to save the world, or I'm not trying to save the powerless. It's just powerful.
That's exactly how the code game works. It don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Once you're in the system, once you're in the color game,
You're in the system. You can't.
you're in that system, and so like, basically, I think he's gonna relate that parallel to the color. Ooh, that's gonna be good. This guy's gonna help them beat that game. Yep, this guy's gonna help them beat.
Because he's already killed so many people.
So that was my question to you guys. So that's my question to you guys. I was gonna ask you about that. Since we know how many people he has killed and everything, but knowing this backstory now of this character, do you think he's a good guy? Or do you think he's a bad guy?
Are there good guys and bad guys in this, really?
There isn't. It's just like everybody's on their own for themselves, either because of their boy.
So okay,
I mean, so remember that's why Gojo wanted us that's why Gojo wanted to break all this down anyway. It wasn't good or bad. They were just doing what they needed to do, what they had. You know, and so yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like, is he gonna be a good? It's like, will he help them?
Sorry, yeah.
If he
I should have
maybe.
Well, I should have asked the question better. Will he when Yuji and the crew, when they go to him, do you think he will accept the offer of helping them, or do you think he will turn them down and go against them? That's the question.
They're gonna have to convince him straight up.
They have to really convince him.
Because I feel like this is the person, unless he's too far gone, because he obviously has kind of a kind of a snap at the end of this.
He did.
So unless he seems like a person who would stand to be reasoned with because of his background, but you would have to come with a very strong argument. And I think that's possible with this character. At least I would hope that Gege would write a character like that, especially with his fleshed this out as well as he has. And how many people had he killed? Do we remember? I don't remember the number.
So the wife and daughter, and like he held up the knife. And
no, I mean like this. I'm talking about him because he had a lot of points on the list, though, didn't he?
He had, I think, 140 kills.
104. 104 points.
What's his name again?
He was the second highest because the first highest was the guy that was like previous chapter. That was 500 years old.
His name is Hiromi Higuruma.
On the list?
Honestly, he's
on the last page.
I feel like he would be.
He's got 102 points. Yeah, he's currently number 1.
Yeah, because the previous number 1 used up his 100 points to make the new rule.
Yeah, because he had 200 points. Yeah.
And now they're trying to find him so that he can make the rule.
So how many points does he get for killing?
5.
So I mean, he killed everybody in that courtroom, bro.
He killed 20 people.
Yep. Everybody
22, 21, 22.
They did not make it out of that courtroom.
Except for like the criminal, like the person they find guilty.
I don't know. But yeah, bro, that's what it looks like to be. If I count this, including his partner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, depending however, like I count 13 people in that one panel. I would assume that he wouldn't kill his
assistant,
but maybe not.
Or a person that's found guilty.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. That is really interesting because I'm like, well, they said that was the only way to gain points, right? It was killing folks.
Kill sorcerers, you get more points. Killing regular folks, you don't get as much points.
Oof. Yeah. Okay.
I remember. You only get partial points.
I gotta see how he got that many points.
1 point for regular people. 5 points for sorcerers.
No way they do it. Maybe he did.
I mean, go after the judges and lawyers and shoddy lawyers.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did. It's one of those things where he has that thing where, because we've seen it before. Are you innocent or guilty? And the cursed spirit decides. There, he's like, it's out of my hands, bro. Cursed spirit said that shit.
And plus,
that kind of thing reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh, that guy with the hoe.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking about.
Judge and jury, like there's no judge and jury.
Wasn't that MemoryNK that had
not
the scale?
MemoryNK, but it was like the guy with the Egyptian man.
Oh, for me, what this curse spirit that he had reminded me of a hollow.
I mean, it kind of looks like a hollow. Kinda.
But like, it does represent a Lady Liberty and Justice because you have both the scale.
Yep. Both
eyes are so thin.
Shut.
Like these are the people who refuse to look for the truth and only he decides to open his life.
I was thinking it was like the eyes are sewn shut because the eyes were forced shut. I like, oof, that's a oof. Like this one, I was like, if everybody else is this much of a gut punch, I'm like, ooh, this color.
This thing is a millennium scale kind of thing.
Gonna hurt, but I can see what you mean. Where it kind of looks like a hollow. It looks more like a.
And plus,
I
Ray.
don't remember what they're called. It looked like.
It is Merrick.
Well, it was Merrick.
Yeah, it was Merrick.
Merrick Ishtar.
Oh, his last name it didn't pop up. I just saw that it was Merrick.
That's all good.
I thought he had the staff.
Remember he stole a bunch of them.
The scale is what's his face? He was the guy that tested Yugi and everything.
Didn't he take that from him? You're right. We're looking this up, chat, because this is a live show. I want to know. Let's see. Millennium items.
It's called the Millennium Scale.
Yeah, because he had the ring, right?
Ring is Bakura.
Bakura, there you go. That was his name.
The ring is Bakura. The scale is
Scale.
Oh wait.
Scale.
Okay. Old Bakura had the scale.
There you go. That's why that makes sense to me. Shoddy. There you go.
Shoddy. That's it. Yep.
Shoddy had it. I had him.
Shoddy?
Yep. Shoddy.
What does that remind me of the song?
Shoddy.
But
that's why.
I feel like he could have. He was like the Harvey Dent in the JJK world, where like,
I
the whole entire
absolutely agree. I bet
the justice system was so bad, where it
yeah.
comes to the point where you know what? Let's just flip a fucking coin and just say, if you're right, you're right. You're not guilty. If you're wrong, you're guilty, kind of thing. Like nope,
I feel you.
I'm done. Like we're gonna literally measure out your entire heart and compare it to a feather.
I'm curious to see how his curse technique works. I want to know. So, I will say, I'll be honest, I love this chapter. And I told the boys before we got started, this is my favorite chapter from this set. Even though we had some bangers.
Oh, we did.
What's so interesting is he's not trying to save the weak and powerless. He just wants real justice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he wants the system to be what it claims to be.
I just love that Gedget
Anything less needs to be destroyed.
I just love how Gedget gives real life type of story inside his series and really makes it hit home. Where like,
I mean,
this
like I said, I tweeted about it. Him and Hori are like.
Oh yeah, I saw that tweet.
You could tell because they both like root their stories in realism, but just tell it in different ways from like different perspectives. And I'm like, damn, how good. That's why y'all like each other.
Because when I was reading this chapter, I was like, damn, why am I crying? Like, why am I my feels right here, reading my hero? I felt like
both
yo,
of those chapters got me, bro.
Like, I felt this chapter right here, that which we're about to jump in, but I felt like there's such a Marvel DC feel of type of realism of heroes losing their way, and like, oh my god. And then with this chapter, JJK, knowing that there's no real justice, like, it felt like some type of Daredevil, some type of Punisher, like, trying to find your own type of justice in your own type of way.
It's so real. Like even Batman knows the justice system does not always work.
I mean, that's why Batman's Batman.
But he can't break his own like.
I mean, he came up with his own rules of justice.
His own code. His own code, and that's why he taught it to Damien. Like, hey, my son, like I know you're the League of Assassins, but you are my son, and you're gonna have your own code for that reason. And I love that very much.
That's what you would hope.
Yeah,
that's what you would hope, Sam.
But like people with that power and abilities to be able to change the system. But what happens with people who don't have it? You bake the bats. You bring out the worst in the people.
So I'm really curious to see this dude's resolve because he's now like at a point where he was tired of the system not working, and now he has the power to take it into his own hands. So he does. I'm really curious. I'm really curious. But no, I love this chapter. Chapter was good.
So chat, let us know what you guys thought about it in the chapter down below of JJK. Let us know in the Discord, like we said. Also hit up us on our Twitter account. Let us know what you guys thought about it of JJK of the chapter 159. Now let's jump into the emotional chapter of My Hero Academia chapter 326. What did you guys think about it, Ray? Sam, go ahead.
Sam, you start.
So even though this chapter was shorter than usual, we didn't think we needed this chapter, but this was definitely a needed chapter because we knew All Might and Stain like got together somehow, and they're gonna have a whole entire talk, and we wanted this talk like anyway. But it was a talk where All Might. No, I'm sorry, he's not All Might anymore. He's Yagi, Toshinori Yagi.
No, according to Stain.
Couldn't say he's still All Might. I'm sorry, Sam.
No,
He's still All Might.
He called him a friend.
So
You're a sham. You ain't All Might.
He was basically the man that walked up there wasn't.
Why is All Might?
Does that make sense? Like the man who was walking up to that statue wasn't All Might. He's like All Might basically had the grit and determination and the hope.
I just love that because even Eraserhead even told him like, just because you lost your power don't mean you still can be a hero to these kids. Just because you don't have your quirk no more to use as a hero, you're still a teacher in the school. You can still teach your students what it is to be a hero. And I love how even Eraserhead is just beautiful and symbolic. How Eraserhead, when we first met him, he's a dude that wanted to be shy away from the press. They wanted to be in the spotlight. But he's always on the spotlight when it comes to the important moments. And he always reteaches All Might Yagi what it is to be a hero, because it's like All Might lost his ways. It's kind of like it kind of reminded me of when Spider-Man gave up his mantle because he was just lost when Gwen Stacy got killed in those moments when he just didn't know what to do. It reminded me that he had to be taught again why he was a hero in the first place, why he had to be Spider-Man, why Daredevil had to be Daredevil again, like why Matt Murdock had to give him the mantle because of said reasons. This reminded me a lot so much of why Stain at this moment gave that well of fire, gave this burning fire again to All Might, to Yagi, and I just love that. I'm sorry, Sam.
Think
go ahead.
about it. He basically reminded him because All Might also gave him that fire.
That too.
He didn't go into that, but All Might gave him the fire to do what he does. That's why he does what he does. It's because All Might gave him that fire. It's so good. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
So I'm gonna use in a real hero analogy. When usually the hero dies, everybody sees what he's done, the selflessness and determination, but they would never be alive enough to hear the thank yous, the credits, the enough that goes like we respect, the homage and everything like that. The heroes that are still alive today still have a chance to be given the flowers, giving the thank you. I'd rather give you the flowers to you in person than to you and to your grave in person. Because the best thing a hero can hear is the thank yous, the respects, and everything while they were still alive, because they can still hear it, and you can still reach, and people personally can still reach to them. When Yagi was literally was having that low motivation, he felt like he's not the hero. He knew he was not the hero he used to be, but he didn't knew he felt himself as useless without having to be the All Might that everybody knows and the All Might that he could have been. But it was Stain that showed him that you are even though you're not the hero anymore, you bringing in the soul, the fire, inspiration of all these people, not just the students, but also the hope, the people you save, giving you the hope. Even the woman that literally took off the sign said I am not here, and she's cleaning everything every single day. Even though there's so much hate to the statue of All Might, she still believes in All Might, protecting. I'm still fighting, I'm still believing, and you should too.
I mean, and it's more. He is the symbol of peace. He created the symbol of peace. The symbol of peace doesn't go away. That remains in the people that he saved. You know what they say about what people say. It's people don't die as long as we remember them. You know what I'm saying? And that's his will, his hope. What he left isn't going to die because people are carrying that torch. They picked up that torch. This class of kids is picking up that torch and running with it. And I think it's staying reminding him. It's even before you were the powerful All Might, you were still All Might in the fact that my body moved and I didn't think about it. My body just moved type hero. You were a true hero before that. And it's just then you've got the power to display that true power and that heroship to everybody. And just because you don't have the true power, the spirit of the hero isn't there. It's basically what State is what I think State is telling him. It's you can't physically do what you were doing before, but you still have a much more prominent role in inspiring other heroes to keep doing what you see and fix society. Which I was God dang, bro!
And we still see you.
And plus,
we know what you represent, and we know what we should all strive for.
And plus, what Sam reminded me of what he was talking about, knowing that you're gonna be here and not knowing when you'll be loved and everything. It reminded me of Chainsaw Man at the end of the chapter. I think it was like chapter 90 or 93, around there, close to the end.
The second to last chapter, the third to last chapter thing.
Yeah, around there.
The television.
Yes, of when Denji was watching the screen and saying, "They really love me," like just saying when everybody was saying "Chainsaw Man, Chainsaw Man." So it reminded me of how All Might never had the chance to actually sit back and see himself as a hero from TV Nerd. He knew that, but now saying that,
I'm gonna disagree with that.
so
Everybody loved All Might.
yes,
They showed it all the time.
So what I'm saying that everyone loved All Might, but what I'm saying is that he never saw what this person just did, clean up his statue. He never saw it from his side, like
because he never had to up until just now. That's what I'm saying. Like he never had to experience that because when he was at his peak, people didn't have to feel this way, in regards to like thinking that he failed. But it's the people who remembered what he did for them that are like, no, just because he's not here to do it now doesn't mean that what he did is you can disregard what he did. Essentially.
And to know that this was the lady why that woman?
Was the last
that was the last
saved.
person that he saved as All Might. And I'm
All
like,
Might.
yo, when Hori showed that flashback and I was in her, I'm like, oh my god, this was the same person that All Might saved and is helping. And I love how I spoke to the guys before I went live. I wonder if this reference that Hori has done of the Wheel of Fire, others small fire continuing on, others ember flickering.
It literally is. I mean, it was that we basically got that when in that fight.
In that fight,
he sees one for all as a flame.
As a flame, and I just love that it shows that the small flickering of ember continues on to his class 1A, to this teacher, to Eerie, to Razorhead, to Endeavors, to everyone he has touched continues
His
going on. And I just
to the world
love
it
that.
still lives on.
And that he had to realize that by freaking Stain. Like Stain had to knock this back into his head. Like,
well, like
yo,
I said, Stain,
wake the
like
fuck up.
Was a super fan of All Might, so it makes so much sense that this was Stain. And we've been waiting on this.
Mm-hmm. And we have.
I've been
I love it
for so long. It was worth every week waiting for this. This was worth it because this is exactly what All Might needed to see. And I feel like this is also what the readers needed to hear. Like, from that perspective as well. It's like, yeah, bro. And the kind of analogy I put together that's not super great is that you could be one of the greatest athletes of all time and lead your team to thousands, like hundreds, a whole bunch of victories and championships.
But right after,
but when you leave, they can become one of the worst teams ever. Literally. Think about that.
That too, but then right after you could be forgotten because people will be like, "Wait, that team sucks." I'm like,
but there will always be people who remember what you did.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's always people who choose to remember you, who are working who are the person they are now thanks to that motivation of that person of what they done.
Exactly.
And plus, isn't me
and it's better like they're still alive to receive the thank from them. Like I couldn't be here without you being there.
I think it's not even the thanks that they're alive for. It's to see the legacy that they built live on.
And I just love how Stain literally was up close and personal with him in his page 12. Literally like, yo, oh my, in the most of times and all. And literally panel by panel, he just felt like he got closer and closer. And he even touched his own face and like, look, boy, look at this. And it just, I was just laughing in this page 12 and 13 while he's just up and close and personal with All Might, aka Yagi, and just Stain. Literally knocking it back to his head like, my man.
What I'm
we
so
all
glad
knew
is,
as well.
What I'm also so glad is that they have a parallel of Yagi doing like the whole I just ran because of powerless and everything, just like what Deku did. Like,
I was gonna bring that up, Sam. Thank you.
Basically, like they were true heroes before they got a quirk.
And Stain saw that too.
Yeah, I mean they keep hammering it in. It's like the person is the quirk. Not in their case. The quirk became
the person. and I just loved it because Sam brought it up because like we never got the Yagi flashback. Like we got we knew him as his Bronze Age, Golden Age, and like Silver Age We knew him as a hero, but we never knew that. We knew he was quirkless. We knew that he got the quirk passed down to him.
We barely saw him as a student.
What's
But
also
we never saw him as
crazy
a
where
student, and I loved how in this same
Deku knew
speeding.
it, but we never really had. We never knew if the conversation ever went through where Deku said this for All Might. But I don't think it would have been as powerful as Stain telling literally the same conversation.
I mean, now Deku can have now All Might could literally have it.
Because even like because the All for One quirk that was thanks to Yagi's soul cried because Deku saw it, and the motivation and everything. Like, yeah, my quirk became me, and that gave the All for One for All like a body, a quirk itself, so that it would like talk and converse within the other previous One for All users.
And plus the detail in the art, in the panels, in Hori, in the eyes and everything. Because we see in page 8, we see, like I was saying before, when Yagi was running to become a hero, and that was his hero moment. But then when he said that I'll run my course, and just stay and look at him in disgust, like, but who said you run your course? And said like, this is my end result. I've given my life in instant to protect my disciple, but I couldn't bring myself to tell him to take care of himself. And then next page he says,
it's so real though. It's so human.
Yeah,
where like I could have done so much more. I could have done a little bit more different.
But he didn't know
hold on. Stay on. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I'm explaining.
He didn't know better, and I feel like that's All Might is in this moment learning from Stain. And it's like, who are you? Because he lost who he was because he literally thought that this was that quirk. He literally thought that he was, one for all. And that's why he's like, well, I couldn't teach Deku this because he didn't know that. He literally didn't. Like, the first 2 pages. Bro,
oh my God, the first 2 pages got me. Like, just him walking there and slowly picking up the mask.
Picking up.
It's like,
and we know that he heard Chaco's speech and the conversation, and he's like, "Oh my God, like what's there left for me?"
And him staring at his statue, saying, "I'm not here," just saying that on his statue and saying, "You couldn't do anything for your disciple when he was hurting," and he felt like so bad. And when he said it, at this point, you're only getting in the way. Oh my! It's like he's talking to himself in first person. Sorry, in third person.
He's looking at his own reflection of your peak and your like your weaker self.
Basically, was saying.
Let me finish my thoughts. I'm getting there. Let me get there, Sam. Come on. It's like my boy. Like, I know what I'm saying. Let me get there.
Take it back, you witless fool. I love that line. Stay. He's like, I don't care. Listen, I'm gonna talk to you how I need to talk to you.
It's just when the Stain was still like, my boy, shut the fuck up. And like, my boy, like, you never crossed my path while I was on the job. Like, so let me catch you up.
Stain wanted that so bad, too, boy. He wanted it so bad it never got to happen.
He just never got the opportunity. He's like, so since you've been gone for a while, let me catch you up. So this happened. I'm All Might. Just, I'm big, then I'm small. And then I felt so bad because he was All Might for 10 seconds.
Right, you can kill me now.
He's like, nah, you're a sham. You're fake ass. You're false.
Which is worse than killing him, if you ask me.
I'm like, you're fake news. You're fake news to me.
He called him out right in his face. He's like, yeah, bro, whatever. He's like, right now, you ain't All Might. He's like, All Might, I knew. Yeah, no. That's not you right now. That's why he gave him this pep talk. I loved it. It was so good. It was so good.
And
he gave him like 8 different burns.
Right?
He auto burned him.
He roasted the shit out of All Might.
He read form in his ass.
Yo, my friend was like, why presume to call yourself a hero? Speak, my boy. Like, damn. He's like, falsely claimed. Fair enough.
You sham.
I guess you got a point. Like,
you're not All Might. You sham. It's a holy ground. You falsely cut mental hero. Who are you really?
This also, so like getting like just kind of back to like the whole situation. Stain has been observing all of this for a while.
Yes.
All of this.
Yeah, because he's been watching this.
He even knew All Might's secret identity and everything.
He said that. So I love this line. He said, a hero can only claim that title as long as his soul burns fiercely in service of others. However, say a god has fallen prostrate upon the earth, and a soul, divine soul, has turned feeble and mortal. And that's when all my readers like, what? You saw that all this time. You've been, no, I don't presume you.
He's like,
but if you are a true hero.
I don't know you, right? Which is like,
Like,
Dang, 'cause-
like I don't know Yagi. I know All Might.
Mhm.
I know the hero that always said, "I am here. We're here to make kids smile. I'm here to save." So like that really like, and when he said make use of this information from a time retarded, and then when he said, "Yo, this panel, my favorite panel of this
I love
chapter,"
that panel. It's
when
good.
Stain said, "They come for the life of Stain, the man who murders 40 heroes for the sake of fixing this society," and the panel of All Might crying, like I don't know why, but that
And then
panel remind me
the
of our boy
rain.
Crimson Chin.
Oh my god!
Wow.
So I want to say something.
The Crimson Chin, but the pointed chin.
I'm gonna do it again. Do it again. The rain stopped. That means something.
Trust me, when I read this chapter at work, I was like, I bet you when we start the review, we're gonna be like, "Yo, that rain."
Clear again. A hope
rain-
emerges.
Exactly.
The symbolism. Thank you,
new
Sam.
dawn.
I was about to say that. It's
A
not getting
new
to my head.
I was
Yo,
like, good job. I was like, Corey, you get
So,
it, bro. You get it.
so taking it back to the first 2 episodes, aka the first 2 chapters, when All Might was fighting the sludge and it was raining and everything, right? And when he literally hit the sky, and when the hero asks, like, "Wait, it just made it cloud. It just made it sunny. It just made it to a new hero
Thank you
and
for
new
making that
generation."
call back.
Thank you,
Exactly.
thank you.
It's new beginnings. That's what rain.
New beginnings.
I'm so happy Sam didn't come up this time.
Rebirth. It's like, that's water. Water and stuff is like a symbol of restart and rebirth. Revitalization.
Rewashing, cleansing.
Man, I'm all about it.
So I just love that symbolism and callback. Like Hori is so good at callbacks, and AKA to Geji as well. Like they're so good at callbacks and bringing back things from what happened from 20, 40, 100 chapters ago. And plus I saw somebody brought it up. I think we haven't seen Stain in almost 240 chapters.
Man, we saw him, but he was only there for like a panel.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
his
that's
leg.
okay. Yeah.
And apparently he knows and apparently he was there. It's just that you don't see him.
By the
Yeah.
way, I would like so Denzel. Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna say it for everybody.
That's okay with this.
Guess what, bro? Unfortunately for y'all, you could never kill All Might because of what this chapter just said. Because his legacy will live on through all those kids. Sorry,
Bam.
internet. All Might can't die. he will literally live on through all those kids forever. That's just how it's gonna be.
That new update of the picture of All Might being the center of all the Class 1A, and that was the statue, and then the
I
woman
want that
was
poster
rescued.
so bad.
Yeah, it's like the whole new update.
I
of
need
everything.
that poster is sick. So when somebody's had to have colored that. That,
Probably
that-
by tomorrow. Probably by tomorrow, since there's a lot of characters, a lot of different shady. Unless people have been on it already.
But,
Heck's probably been on it already.
It's like, yeah, he's Horikoshi built All Might has something that can die. Yes, the physical body can die, but All Might
Spirit lives on.
will always live on, bro.
I love how All Might resembles so much of Superman, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people.
I'll say it, and I mean it. Superman, like All Might is Superman done right.
Yeah, and I 100% agree.
In
because
the current sphere of life, yes.
Of comic books and manga and storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
and I 100% agree, because I grew up with comics first before manga, and I've said this before, and to see All Might resemble a lot since chapter 1, we get the Spider-Man reference, we get the Superman reference and other characters, but see it done well, like All Might being who he is, and the one that what's she calling? Sorry. Damn, girl got me distracted. Where was I going with it? Oh yes. So Superman, All Might, resembling with each other, and how he has shown the next generation. It reminded me a lot of the Justice League cartoons, of how the original 6, the original 7, of how they went from the Justice League animated series to the Justice League Unlimited, showing the other heroes that they're showing. Static Shock, the other heroes that have looked up to Supergirl, have looked up to these heroes because of what they embody, and that torch will never fall because of what they have brought in these years, in these pastimes, and what they have saved other heroes. And that's why heroes pick up the mantle, because of what they have inspired to. And to me, I just love this, and I hope we get to see Ochako, Ida, and them show this will of fire that could continue on, and that can Todoroki. More Todoroki. I just want more of him too.
I think they already did, bro. They did when they went to get Deku. I think they
that
did.
Too. Yeah.
I mean, so there's on my favorite page 13, at the bottom it says the people must not let that fire die out. No matter how undignified the struggle, they must stoke those flames so long as they draw breath. That's everything that you just said.
It's beautiful. It's just the chapter hit it well, and I can't wait to see what chapter 327 brings, because it's like literally this is a great transition to go anywhere. It can literally go to Shigaraki, to Deku, but with the transition,
it goes to Shigaraki, please.
What I've also noticed is like
it's probably gonna be a spinner chapter though. God dang it.
What I also know, like people assume like Toga was gonna be with Stain. Now
that makes me
Toga
so happy
real?
that didn't happen. Like I'm very, very happy. Like I was worried that Toga was in form of All Might at the end. I'm glad that didn't happen. This was exactly what I wanted. Oh god, I didn't know I wanted it, but I got it. Oh man.
I've been saying it that we're gonna get something like this, but I didn't expect a conversation. I expected something of a team up, but this was better than expected. So I love what we got. So I was satisfied. I'm entertained, and I can't wait to see what chapter 327 brings and what this information from my boy Stain gives to All Might, and what he uses information to Endeavor, to Deku.
Is the paper gonna get back to them in time? What's on it, bro? I gotta know.
Me too. As I'm saying, like, what could it be used for? And I'm happy that the Batmobile is still in good health as well, because my boy was driving.
Hercules.
Fine.
Sorry, I just call it Batmobile because I just find it so cute and adorable. But Hercules.
Is a much better name. I like it.
Hercules is good and everything.
Hercules is an original name. Well, Batman was like, Batarangs, a Batmobile, a Batcomputer. Come on, man. Like, give it a real name.
It's called copyright infringement. Nobody could take the name.
Lazy name, Bruce. Lazy name. But no, I love this. Was a great chapter. So, I'm waiting for the next one.
Sam, any last thoughts?
Definitely would like to see the villain side again, but yeah, there are still more characters that we have not seen showed up just yet, and like I'm okay with like whichever the other characters we're gonna see for sure. So.
And Denzel asks, what do you guys think of how Bones adapted My Villain Academia? And Nick says that honestly, season 5 was a huge mess. What do you guys want to give any quick thoughts before we transition?
Did y'all talk about this on the podcast yet?
We haven't. Well, I haven't since I've been on the show.
I'll give quick thoughts. Y'all are completely valid in thinking that, but personally, I think they did just fine. The anime does not have to be a one-to-one adaptation.
No,
does it?
No.
It's not like they did A Promised Neverland and completely omitted or added things that did not exist. They basically just reordered it and they don't have to show you everything. You are folks who are very tuned in and thus have read the manga. A lot of people haven't, and so this is their first introduction to this. I remember hearing the comments and reading a bunch of comments about when My Villain Academia first hit. A lot of people didn't like it week to week because of the way it was structured. And so in the anime, they decided to flip that on its head, to make it more watchable for folks who aren't reading the manga. That makes sense. So not everything is always for you, and that's fine. It's just you have to realize that. I just enjoyed it for what it was. It looked good when it needed to look good, and it got the whole story across that we needed to get. I don't think they omitted anything that was a big deal. Some of the fights weren't as long. Oh well, you know. The next season's going to be a banger, so I'm not really worried.
And to give my...
Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to give my 2 cents. Like, I haven't had just to talk about it. I haven't watched season 5 yet, but I have seen pictures, I've seen clips and everything, and at the end of the day, people understand. It's an anime, manga, comic book adaptation. It's an adaptation. It's not copy and paste. When people like the MCU says this is going to be a adaptation of the Civil War comic, it wasn't a Civil War adaptation from the comic. It was just they used the lore, they use certain things into the storytelling. When it comes to anime adaptation, it doesn't have to mean copy and paste what happened from this scene to this scene. Have you seen the One Piece adaptation? It doesn't go from page to page. They take a one chapter and stretch it out. But people are still entertained. People still call it the nice transition, the nice, whole beautiful type of scenes of Sakuga animation. And at the end of the day, it's an adaptation of an animation. That's all. But at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I haven't had the chance.
You can absolutely not like it, bro. That's fine. It's just that people can also enjoy it. And they're not wrong either.
Yep.
So I'm like, hey, it is what it is, bro.
Sam, want to give any thoughts before we switch to Black Clover, or you're good?
I mean, you guys pretty much just nailed it. Like honestly, it's you have the right to feel what you feel. You can't really like voice and say the animators are horrible, or saying they could have just added this and that.
Let's not do that. Let's not attack the people that worked on it, bro. Let's not.
Yeah, it's their job. That's it. At the end of the day, they're just doing a job.
It's their job, and they're also working on something they care about. Oh, yes.
And like to, again, we're not gonna like the anime and the manga are never gonna go 1-to-1 most of the time, but they at least did a good 90% of what it is to the manga. Yeah. It still captured the
I thought
emotions.
It was good enough. Exactly.
It still captured the feeling. Anime was still crazy. Anime was pretty. It's still pretty good in the standards, and like they actually give you something that's much more violent than that you didn't actually see on the manga.
You look. I'll be very frank. For a primetime television slotted anime like My Hero Academia, to do what they did with Shigaraki's origin was ballsy as hell.
Yeah, like
I need y'all to understand this. They
showed this details.
They showed this in primetime Japanese television. That's not something they normally do.
Exactly. In the morning too. For them it's like in the morning.
So it's like they actually did a lot. Yeah, we're lucky that we get it the way we do, but for it to be like they watch it in real time live on TV. They turn on TV and they watch this.
We watch it on a streaming service from the West.
Yes, exactly. So like for them to show that just on broadcast television is unbelievable. And so they had to make some changes. Not the changes that you like, but they had to.
But like it's still as impactf's and it's still like emotional.
I think, like I said, it still got the point across.
And that's why like I'm thinking it's good. I think it's fine. It's the way it is. It reached above animation standards in my opinion, and you got the story. And this was the story of My Villa and Academia. Literally the backstory of all the villains.
The story was still good, bro. This Shigaraki story is still so good. It is still so good.
And it's just gonna gets even more crazy. And next following episodes, the last episode of the season. But again, you guys can feel like if you don't think this was the strongest season, absolutely fine. Like this, like there were.
I get tired of people being like, "Oh, well, you're stupid if you didn't like it," or "Well, you're stupid if you liked it." Stop that.
Like okay,
people like what they like, and let people not like what they don't like. As long as y'all not being assholes to each other, it's all good.
Like if you guys are doing so well, trying to not spoil from the manga for the anime people. Like now, why are you complaining? Where like we finally reached this point, and you don't like it, and yet you blame them for not liking it. You blame them for liking it just because it didn't reach your standards.
Right. I mean, your standards are if you nothing against any of y'all, but your standards are completely different than everybody else's standards. And that's okay. You're a person.
And Chad said it perfectly. People complain about My Villa Academia, but they still watch it, so shut the hell up.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell people to shut up. I mean, it's like, yeah, you can, talk about stuff the way you would talk about it. It's just that, like, leave other people alone. Like, that's all I'm asking. Just leave people alone. I've seen people, like, jump on people because they said that they are enjoying it. Like, leave them alone. Come on now.
And also, guys, it's Twitter. Talk positive. There's so much negativity. That's why I talk positive about Shaman King.
You can talk positive. I'm just going to mute and block you and move on. It's fine.
That's it, man.
It's not that I don't want to have different opinions on my timeline. It's not. I don't want yours. That's it. I'm not talking to any of you specifically.
Of course. But, without further ado, Sam, we'll talk to you in a bit. We're going to jump into the Black Clover of Flashback, and how do we feel about it?
Sam, how you feel about thinking about Black Clover? You thinking about that tweet, Sam?
Yep. Yeah. Be like, guys, if you saw that tweet, that Bash of this. No.
No. But you still need to read Black Clover.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go that. I don't know if I want to do that to myself.
Chapters like this that make Black Clover as good as it is.
Agreed.
This is one of the good ones.
This is one of the great ones. I love this chapter. So let's get into it, Ray. We get in this chapter of Black Clover, chapter 306, Boundary, and we get our conversation of how we get an understanding of a character that people want to jump ship and say, "Oh, Asta's father? This is Asta's dad." I'm like,
why are you saying this? Why would y'all say this?
Yo, once I was on timeline and I saw YouTube thumbnails already said Asta Dad because it looks like him and because he has a model of never giving up and he has a goal of being the commander chief. I'm like, what the fuck? So anybody could just jump in and say, I don't give up and I want to be the next guy of this guy. That's Asta Dad because he sounds like him. It looks like him and likes it has some type of white hair.
Stop it. Stop it. Let me enjoy this without being tied to Asta, please. Please. Similar parallel that they've drawn, which is fine. That's cool. It ain't got to be his dad. Dang. Does that mean that Xenon is Yuno's dad? I mean, same logic, right?
Yeah,
right?
because with this chapter, they literally said, I guess that means we are rivals. And I'm like, just because they're rivals don't mean any goddamn shit. But honestly,
every time I see somebody go, oh, that's Asta Dad, I'll be like, oh man, yeah, well, he just killed Yuno's dad. Wow. That's what I'm saying from now on. But this chapter, I'll be very frank, was surprising, to say the least. I really like what he did with this character.
It made me care for Zeno more than Bianca and Dante.
I know.
In one chapter.
I'll be honest. I feel like he maybe liked this origin more than Asta's. I'll be like not more than Asta, but like his origin, his story. And I'm like, oof, this is good. Like, could you imagine if we got more of this backstory? If he decided to flesh it out? Ooh wee. Because like, this is good. Like, this is very, very good. Creepy little guy. His bones shoot out of his body. Like, you think about that. That is usually an ability that is looked down upon and frowned upon because it's so, it's creepy. Exactly like they said in this. And so it's like for him to be like, nah, I'm gonna be one of the best. It's like, oh, okay. Oh man, this is so good. But it's just, this is like, think about Mirio and our boy Sunny. That's kind of like this relationship. It's like Alan influenced him to want to be better. It's like, no, you can be better, bro. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, I can.
And I love what Lady brought it up too because I question that too because we have in this flashback
that one panel. Yes,
that one panel.
So
we said, wow.
Not showing faces, bro.
I was about to bring that up too. He said, oh, when he said, don't worry, Xenon. You're the one who's the most like me. You have a greater aptitude for being a devil host than either Dante or Bianca. I'm like, all right, cool. Don't show face. Don't show that. And I'm
where is that sibling?
So where's that sibling now?
Are they alive still?
And why is the sibling in a wheelchair too? And then we get that little friendship of Alan. And, Alan, people also say, oh, Alan is probably close to Asta. That's why it's easier for them to name. I'm like, really? Y'all gonna just go by a name and a letter?
Also, it's like, is this older sibling, like, were they magicless? And so the way for them to get power was to, like, make this, they got, like, the family secret of the devil ability since they didn't have magic. And so they were like, here, take this devil stuff. I don't know. This is kind of lit. I'm like, okay, what you about to do with this? Like,
okay, lady. That's okay.
So I've been saying that for a long time. LOL smile. Jokingly.
We did see that theory like months ago. We did that theory.
Like, yeah, they debunked that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because later we said that theory. I think like in one of the Shonen Ronin beginning episodes or before when we used to do Black Girl by itself.
I was joking months and months ago.
Yeah, we said like, oh wait, because we heard it was time. It was Time Devil, and it was like three types. I forgot it was Time and the other two.
And I mean, I'm gonna be that guy where it's like, it's all possible.
It's possible.
I'm not writing the story, and while it might seem unlikely, Obito can make it make sense if he wanted to. He could, if he wanted to.
So this figure. So in that panel, page 4, this figure of Sean only the smile, it reminds me of the guy in the Clover Kingdom that has the balance type of power.
Oh yeah, you're right. One of the royals.
his face right there reminds me of it because it has that type of snarkle type of smile and it has the type of attitude. So it kind of reminds me of, okay, could he have come from Clover Kingdom and could he have been infiltrated? And he looks like the type of guy that maybe has. And remember, he was so set on extinguish Asta because he has a devil. He was so set on trying to remove him.
See, I guess that would make sense then because this dude gave people devils.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm curious because I also think there's this weird body swapping magic somewhere because think about it, he told us that it's possible with the elves taking over people's bodies.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, somebody got to have some magic where they could just transfer their life force into somebody else's body. Who knows? Maybe that was this brother, and they just been kind of chilling. You know what I'm saying?
But then we find out that they was fighting. They was sent on a mission because both Alan and Zeno were accepted into the Magic Defense Force. So I'm like, oh, awesome. So they both entered to the 4th division. But then Alan and them were sent out to one of the dungeons that got opening. All right, cool. They have a little competition, and then this demon, looking mighty demonish, like in this page.
Oh, that's a demon, bro.
Yeah, that's a demon, like some type of supernatural or some type of shit. Like, okay,
I'm telling you, that's a devil's demon right there, right? Like, oof, one of those show up, we all in trouble. I think one's about to. So.
Yeah, and then we have Alan having sword magic with fire.
Yeah,
so
fire and sword magic. Interesting.
So a lot of people say like, oh, sword magic connected to Asa too because
Asa doesn't have magic.
So look, I forgot who was it, but I just saw some random theory video of how this guy's going. So I saw a thumbnail. I'm like, all right, cool.
Can we
let me see why.
One moment, go back to the Angel arc. Who had the sword magic? Who did it belong to?
Lich.
Who gave it to Asta? No, stop this. It was given to him.
But remember, this was 500 years ago. And so Lich book could have been to this guy Alan, and then maybe it could have transferred once he died to Asta.
It could have, but I doubt it. Could have. I'm gonna kill that theory. No. I think it's like Kuwabara. He can make it take shape. Yeah, he chose to make it have fire take shape into a sword. That makes sense to me.
It could be. So now we have at the last couple of pages that Alan was trying to stop it, and this was the only chance that he could try to, be the next captain of the division. So he said, I will do this, and I can't lose here. But then Zeno said, like, wait a minute, this is my only chance. If I kill Alan and if I kill the demon, I could save everyone else in the kingdom. How do you feel about that? That this was the only chance, like his only choice.
I mean, in some of these situations, yeah, bro, that was it. That's all they could do. See, this is where people need kind of like get. These people aren't main characters. Main characters have the resolve and can like overcome any situation because that's what they're doing. These are people who were like normal-ass people who were like, hey man, we got to do something. This is all I can do. So this is very much, Piccolo, Goku, Raditz energy right here. Think about that. That back when Dragon Ball Z started, like they didn't have the power to just whoop everybody by themselves. Sacrifices had to be made to win fights early on, and that's what happened to these. But it's just he hated that he was so weak that he really couldn't just save his friend. He wanted that main character power so bad, and get him crying, bro.
Yo, that panel was sad because he didn't want to kill his best friend.
Immediately, I was like, I want him to win now. I was like, I need him to win. He's got a reason to win.
Because
just wants to be cool with Asta.
Yo, because it made me remember like when he went to his brother at page 8, he said, "I'm sorry, big brother, I'm not interested in becoming a devil host." And then at the end of the page, end of the chapter, he said, "Big brother," and he said, even an ordinary devil, and this was a regular devil, not a supreme nor higher, just an ordinary devil, had the power like that, and that's when he chose to be. Make me a devil host too. So funny again, we see him becoming a devil, but we don't see his brother again. So we see his brother still alive when he's older, but we still see him in a wheelchair, and we see this always in a dark room. So like, what does it mean? Like, who is his older brother, and why is he always in the dark room?
Carlos, you said something really interesting. Zenon didn't have faith in Alan. What if Alan failed and then they all died? He had to make a split decision.
Well, he did say that
isn't that the worst outcome?
Well,
they all die?
Zeno did say that if I don't do it, we will all die, and the damage will spread to the kingdom too. At the very least, the people in the nearby town will die too. So he had to choose that to save the kingdom or to let Alan die and protect the kingdom.
Because he saw that he had a shot. And imagine he was just like, oh no, Alan's got it. And then he didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he made a choice. That wasn't like the best choice, but he thinks that if he was stronger in that moment, he wouldn't have had to make that choice. Is what I think it is. We all have to make choices, and in that moment, he thought that was the only choice that he could make to guarantee a victory.
Pain also brings up a good point. This chapter makes me feel good since Dante was bullying, and also Bianca was bullying Zeno about his bone magic. And remember when Zeno's the one that came to pick up Yami and Dante?
I mean, Zeno worked hard. Zeno, he worked the hardest to be the best one.
And that makes sense now, like why he was so disappointed, like, damn, brother, I'm always picking up after you. Now it makes sense why Zeno get that response to Dante. Shit.
Langers versus Zeno is the exact same position. Right. You're absolutely right. I absolutely see him potentially making that play, but them going beyond the fact that I think they go to the fact that does have the power to actually overcome it. I think is what is going to happen. Potentially. Y'all see Langers like dying in this fight? Do you?
Well, if Langers die, it will make sense for Finro because Finro will take the mantle of his household and he will be the one in charge. But Langers is the one in charge now because Finro has always been lazy. But if Langers die, it gives Finro more of a reasoning to get stronger and become a better spatial magic
and a better brother
and a better brother and maybe a better husband for his wife that he continues flirting and everything. So it makes him a better person too.
But no, I feel like I said, it was the fact that literally had the power that I wish he had when they were in the same flip situation. It's just so I love that he did this because it's very good. It's very, very good.
It is.
And I like this chapter mostly because it built up on. It didn't have to go. He didn't have to take 5 chapters to build up the backstory of this character and make you feel sympathetic to his situation, but also relate it to the current one. Some manga could take chapters to do that. He did it in one.
He did it in one, and it felt good because it
felt good.
A lot of people was comparing to freaking to Jack when they did his flashback, and a lot of people said that it felt random. I'm like, no. The reason Jack, we got his flashback at the moment, at first I didn't like it, but when you read it again, it's because Jack felt like an insect compared to Dante when Dante was just kicking his ass. And what is Jack? An insect. He is literally
he's the praying mantis, baby.
I appreciate that. Thank you. He's a praying mantis. He's an insect of the species. So when he felt an insect compared to Dante, that's why transition in storytelling to flashback of why he wants to always be cutting and why he always wants to be the bigger insect out of the squad.
I still think that his magic is some of the coolest now that we know. I still love Jack's magic. Like at first I was like, man, it's whack. But now I love it. Like since they explained that way back then, I love Jack's magic. I hope we get to see more of it. But so Preston brought up a good point. Also, can we talk about the cool demonology that Tom was using? Yes. I love the Beelzebub as Xenos demon. I love that. That is cool. That means that to me though, that means they in trouble.
I was about to say that because honestly, I searched how he looks again, and guys, just saying, when you search, turn off your Google search because the next day IG posted like, well, you want to buy some demon books? I'm like, no, I don't want to buy some demon books.
I'm sure John will be proud.
John will probably be proud.
May brought up a good point too. There's something about the Triad having body magic and then their eldest brother being disabled, which is a bit ironic. Right, but that makes me wonder why, because they all have interesting Dante's is literally like a healing body magic. Xenon's is the bone magic. Monica's is the blood. Hers is the blood magic, right?
Well, are you talking about their demon magic?
Their family magic.
The family magic, yes.
Yeah. So May is saying that all this stuff is body related, and yet the oldest brother has a disability caused by his magic potentially.
Which we did joke around. That imagine if we get turned to a Megazord, all of them fusing together. We did laugh about that, but that would have been dumb, creepy as hell. Like blood magic, flesh magic, bone magic, fusing. That would be hella creepy as hell, guys. As much as I could joke around about that, but imagine all 3 humans, guys. That's just be creepy as hell. But I do want to ask Chat and Ray, what do you think of
Fleshy Megazord? Why'd you do that?
imagine there's some type of fan art with all three of them.
No, internet, do not do that.
If there's guys, tag Ray. Just tag Ray. Just tag Ray.
Do not
What
tag
it
me
is.
that. No.
But
anyway.
but I'm gonna ask, what do you think his deal when he said, "Bizarre, let's make a deal"? What do you think it is for him to be 100% and have him take over his body?
You know, in this, no, and like it, is it him just saying, "Give me all your power, and you can like, when you're free, I'll be your like vessel." I don't know. I don't, because this is really interesting. Like I just want this to kind of, like, I'll be honest. I want one of these fights to go in the way of the Devils. Like so far, all of our folks have suffered. They've won, you know, on our side. I feel like this is the one where they win. They win this one because his resolve is stronger than Yuno's. Is my guess, and I actually wouldn't mind seeing that. Because I mean, I hope that it forces Yuno to be like, you can't just rely on being, you know, favored by Mana, and having the spirit. Like there are people who could still beat you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It'd be pretty interesting because even I forgot who to send in the chat. I think it was Payne saying that what happened if the eldest brother, the other sibling, says that they have brain magic, or
Interesting.
or some type of psych magic controlling demons. Because look, remember when he came up to his brother and said, "Big brother, make me a demon host too." So that means like, how does the brother do this? Does the brother know some type of brain magic or some type of psych magic to control demons, to bring them out of the demon realm and have the control into their, you know, Dante, Bianca?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like, how did they come into contact with those, and how did they get them to come and like make contracts? You're right. Like, how do they get them to form contracts?
Yeah, because Chad said like
we saw how Knox family did it.
Yeah.
Where they basically make them submit. But yeah, how did their family do it?
Yeah, because Chad said like blood magic, bone magic, and I forgot what was the flesh magic or what the B word for.
Yeah, the flesh magic, yeah, whatever it is.
So
but it is ugly. And so May also brought up the point, it's like, wasn't Dante also bullied for his magic? And I think that's why he decided to be a devil host sooner.
Yeah.
So he can have a different magic. Yep. That's what I think it was. I think his was purely vain. So he wanted a different magic because his was ugly and unsightly.
Yeah, it's flesh, and that's creepy as hell. And Bianca was not something creepy because blood. And at the same time, she's a girl, you know, looks good and everything. But at the same time, she didn't mind being the outcast because she was already battle crazy. She was already in the cycle side of things.
Essentially. Yeah, Beelzebub, I've come to bargains. Yes, that's exactly what I said. I love that.
That is a good point. He's like, yo, so what do you come to bargain here for?
Wait, no,
like,
who said that in chat? Somebody said it. I think it was May. Also, if they're already at 100%, what does it mean to make a deal? What does that mean? What is that like? What could he even ask for?
Take consciousness, like take heart, take brain, like
I don't know. It's just what could he be asking?
But remember, like, this is a supreme devil, so maybe they need to come out fully out of the realm. So maybe like once they become 100%, they just come out the full body. I want Zeno to win this match. As much as it sucks, I want Yuno to lose.
I mean, I don't want Yuno to lose, but I also want to see him surpass his limits. You know what I'm saying? I know that I want to see him go beyond what he is, because I feel like Zenon's about to. He's about to go beyond his limits.
Pant, I think from what we know, they're around the age of 30 because Bianca got her devil when she killed Noel's mother. And from there on, we know that she looks the same is because she got the devil host around there. So we know that she's around the age of 20 to 30. So we know that the brothers and sisters out here, the Dark Triad, they're around the age of 20 to 30. So we know, that's why I said that maybe Alan's sword could have been from Asta's grimoire, similar to Lich. That's what I say could have been, because probably Asta wasn't born yet. That's why I
you bring
said
up a
it.
good point. Did any of the other devils actually take pieces of Vonika's or Dante's bodies? Did they? I didn't think that Megicula did.
No.
I don't think she did that to Vonika.
Megicula only took her soul and took the other person's soul, so she could become whole without coming out of the twerp.
So she didn't take her body. She was trying to use their bodies to become whole.
Correct.
And Dante's devil didn't even get a chance.
He didn't get a chance because Dante's weak.
So you're right, Preston. This could be like, I will literally give you my body, which, as we've seen with Asta, with just one arm, is strong as hell.
Yeah.
So that could be real bad.
And I can't wait. I can't wait to see. Talk about the design. Look, very demonology.
I will say Zenon is already the coolest design. Like, already.
Yes.
So yeah, I want to see more of it because the wings and everything. Yeah, bro.
And if people do the search of how Beelzebub look on Google search, you will see that the wings, the horns, and everything, it is freaking crazy as hell. And also, Beelzebub has some type of butterfly, type of bug, type of look. So maybe Xenon could be coming, with extra eyes.
He's gonna look like the summoned skull. That's it.
Thank you. That'd be pretty dope, though.
So, also, did Dante say he's basically immortal? I guess. Yeah, Lucifer wants a refund on his host. Dante's not weak. He's just stupid. That's the difference.
And also, he chose to be wrong with Magna. He literally said, "Hey, I'm gonna whoop your ass."
Yeah, he like literally. Dante is strong as hell. He's just stupid. He got cocky. The don't get cocky kid. He did. He got his ass whooped. So that's all that happened there. He made a mistake. But no, Lucifer. I really like. Yeah, what if it is 100% for 50 seconds or like a minute? We still haven't seen him 100% of a full devil's power outside of what the word devil was. The word devil even at 100%? I don't know. Dante can go through the Dante's Inferno path.
Oh my God,
Carlos.
Okay. Wait a minute. I wonder if the Dante. So if the people that are hosts of devils, do they actually die? Like imagine, just going to the Dante Inferno type. Like imagine.
Or do they swap places? Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah, like imagine if Dante went to hell and Lucifer came out. Imagine if they took place. Some type of Dante Inferno type of story. In the Mythos.
Maybe. I mean, I'd be down with that.
Because we know talking about the like to take different stories and the different mythos and merge them together. So who knows? It's like that'd be crazy, weird.
That'd be interesting, but yeah, I don't know. Do they just cease to exist because their soul now belongs to that devil? So.
It'll be interesting to see where chapter 327 was.
I'm very excited for this next chapter because I was telling folks this chapter of Black Clover slap, bro. This was very good. Very good. I like it a lot.
Nick, you remind me of the anime. I still haven't even watched the Dark Triad Spade Kingdom stuff yet.
Wait, who has it? You have it?
Me. Yeah, me. I still haven't watched it yet.
I watched it before you. Okay, listen. Go watch it because it's actually very good. It's actually very good. Go watch it. But I want Preston. Nick. I want the anime back. I want this to be animated so bad. Like I really do. All this would be so good.
Me too. We need Mappa to anime Black Clover Part 2. No, I would love it. I would love it. But if they do seasonal, then yes. Because
I've seen some discourse on the timeline about oh man, if Black Clover had the same animation as JJK, it would be the hypest thing ever. I can't confidently say something like that.
Because it depends on how the pacing and story carries it. Story carries it as well.
With the stuff that they with the animators that they had, they still had some really high points in animation for Black Clover. They did. I mean, not all of them, but they had some really good ones.
Not consistency.
I mean, and even then, people still didn't really pay attention, which makes me sad, of course. But I do think if they got some better animators behind, more animators behind this next part, it could be up there. I think so because the story is now like on a higher level as well. So I feel like this part of the story is stronger than that last part that they just gave us. Like the Dark Triad story is probably one of the strongest stories in Black Clover. Yes, next to the Elf. So,
Oh yeah, like the Elf arc itself or the Elf saga, people just put as a whole with because everything leading up to it. It was good, but to me, the Space Kingdom is building up very slow, but in a good way. But I do tell people like if you want to read the Space Kingdom, definitely read it in a good binge because it really gives you that story flesh out of where it is now. And I feel like Xeno has been building up to a good character in just one chapter. I enjoyed it for chapter 306. Can't wait to see what chapter 307 brings next week. And for what Xeno could his contract be, it could be bargain. It could be the type of Sukuna thing that control the whole body, control the whole power, take an arm, take a leg, or take the heart, or eventually like, hey, can you take me and bring back my friend Alan? Who knows? It could go many routes of what this deal could be or what this bargain could be, but I'm very fascinated of where it could go.
By the way, give Black Clover's Part 2 to A1.
Ooh, A1 animation.
A1 Pictures, give it to them.
Ooh, A1 Pictures.
I'm calling it right here. Whoever needs to see this, give it to A1 Pictures, please, and we'll be great. We'll be great, please.
A1 Pictures will do a beautiful job.
I think A1 would nail that in this Part 2, straight up.
It'll be interesting to see if A1 do it like that. So definitely hype for it.
Let's see. Also, what are your thoughts on Yuno's last Wind Spirit weapon? It was kind of underwhelming, personally. I thought that it would be a little bit more hype than that. But for it to be a bow, I'm like, I mean, yeah, it tracks, but
yeah, it tracks for his character because he resembles the Greek gods, a bit with his type of powers, with the wings and everything, and with the bow and arrow, and with the crown. So like those type of things, it resembles it. But to me, I was meh as well. I was more hyped for Xeno than itself,
Yeah,
so
same, big same. I'll be honest, it did. A lot of the Quincy arrows, like early ones, look better than this current spirit weapon.
Oh, his Quincy abilities are so different. Oh,
yeah. If like those are cooler than these.
If
Tate did do great work on Black Clover, they did absolutely. It's just that we know that their work wasn't as up to snuff as some other studios currently in the game. Straight up.
If Tabata knows how to merge Quincy's power with it, oh my god, it would be freaking amazing.
I mean, I would love if he modeled more of stuff after Quincy's powers. Oof, I'd love that. That'd be sick. I mean, it's almost there. This looks like his level 1 bow.
It would be pretty interesting if he knows how to level up. This is level 1, then level 2, then level 3, and gets better with different bows or different attributes. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that would be amazing as hell.
That would be sick.
So, any last thoughts, Ray? Because I think we did a good coverage and chat. I appreciate being here.
I love this chapter. This chapter was really good. This backstory it made me really care about this villain, which is a real Demon Slayer like thing. I'm like, maybe he just read some Demon Slayer. It was like, I want to make you feel for this dude.
He said, how can I make you care for him?
Yeah, I was like, all right, so that means you're not ready to wrap this up yet, which is good because I'm not ready for it to end. But no, I'm ready to see what he does next chapter because it looks like it could be pretty wild.
And plus, as he should, because he gave Noel a backstory and reasoning when he fought Bianca and came at Dracula. Now I hope he gives the same type of passion and storytelling for with Xeno and everything. And Xeno's technically become my favorite for the Dark Triad too. So
same. I mean, he was already the most interesting because he was quiet, mysterious when he came out and took out the golden. He came and took out the best squad by himself, easy, and then was going. I was like, hey, don't mess with that dude.
Hell yeah, thank you for that.
They were like, oh yeah, Dante's the strongest. I'm like, you sure about that? I mean, he might be, but is he though? It's very good.
And yes, Carlos, trust me, we have spoken about it for the past couple of episodes. We know Dante ain't coming back. With the way about the lady sled,
the way he got
Jack,
home, they ain't gonna let him go.
Dante has too much of an ego, be like, nah, I'm coming back, bitches. We coming out here fighting. Square up.
I also think that Lucifero is gonna be like, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah. So, he be like, nah, cuz, nah, Beelzebub, nah.
I also think that Lucifero is gonna be like, I ain't going out like this. So, he be like, nah, cuz, nah, Beelzebub, nah. I ain't going out like this. Yeah. He be like, nah, cuz, nah, Beelzebub, nah.
Nah, cuz. Nah, Beelzebub, nah. Megicula died out here. Invisible out here? Nah.
Is she dead?
Nah. Megicula, I think she
dead.
dead.
A whole portal to the underworld opened up. Is she really dead, bro?
That is... You got a good point there.
Was she ever truly even all the way on that side of the
that
door?
Is... But didn't she use them to come back full? So isn't Megicula dead?
I don't think so. They might think that she like they got rid of this part of her, but if they open those doors, the rest of her might come back. She'd be like, guess what?
So you're saying
suck nerds.
So you're saying it's like a Kurama thing, like half of his body was here, half of his body was still over there.
Potentially, I'm not saying that's completely fact, but like there's a chance.
Okay, I do see that. Like half Kurama got killed, but the other half Kurama is still out inside the underworld. So I do see that. All right.
Yeah, because like they couldn't come back all the way.
Because
that's why they're here. Like
because the full underworld's not open. Yeah, because the full underworld's not open. Okay, I see what you're saying.
But as you know, maybe if it opens up some more,
the full small bitches are coming to be like, surprise, motherfuckers.
That's right. It was 1/3 of Ridiculous. So yeah,
yeah.
They're not done.
So we're not done here with these Dark Trials. So let's continue to see where it's going. So this is the full coverage of Black Clover chapter 306. Sam, are you still there to come back and tell us the chapter of the week?
Sam?
I'm still alive, just waiting for you guys to finish up.
All right, so Sam.
Great, so welcome back.
It was a good conversation. Chat was here talking about Black Clover, so we just wanted to have a conversation with them. So tell us, what was your chapter of the week, Sam? Because I know you read other series, so what do you want to give highlight?
This was a good chapter, and it came out on Friday. I reread them. This was a hard to choose.
It was.
Because JJK was great.
Yep.
My Hero Academia was short, but it was actually impactfully great as well. Red Hood got me that intelligence, Hunter vibe, strategy meeting and group teamwork kind of thing. It's really hard. I'm not like, because I have other feelings of certain other series as well. Like Masho was okay. Undead Unluck kind of went back to.
Masho's been okay for like the last 4 chapters.
Yeah, like so, like it hasn't really wowed me.
Yeah.
Undead Unluck somehow is going back to the chapter 1 moment stuff again somehow.
What? I need to catch up. Okay.
Sakamoto Day was fun, but
cool.
it just started. Like nothing fully interesting has really gone into it yet. So if I was gonna pick 3, it is the Red Hood, JJK, and My Hero Academia.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, the trio, okay.
What about you, Vash?
For me, I had to give my chapter of the week. I had to give it to Mission to the Crow family. Yes, I'm not being biased, but it's just that I love
he loves that series,
biased.
and it's okay. He loves that.
No,
series.
it's just
every time a new chapter comes
he's the
out,
only
he
one in
wants
this group.
to say.
He's always talking. He's the only one to ever talk about it. And we all
Hey,
like,
maybe I'm trying to push an agenda out here. Maybe I'm trying to get people to read
We've been
it.
pushing this agenda for months.
That's true.
Alright.
It's been
No,
a
no,
while.
but
Maybe I'll
honestly,
listen one day. Who knows?
But honestly, it was a good slice of life chapter. Like, we get the JJK stuff and everything, but it's just nice to see a bit of slice of life in a Shonen Jump chapter, and just comedy in it, and it felt the art was good too. So I had to give it to Mission to the Crow family. And then 3, as much as it is, I enjoy Black Clover a lot. So like that's my top 2. My Hero and JJK are like number 2 right there, and Sakamunda Days number 4, like, or 3. Sakamunda Days was really good. I love the chapter, and I'm for those that I did not have the chance to tweet it out, but I've been catching up to the Lusa Samurai.
I'll get there.
I'm hearing a lot of good things of it, and the art has been good on the timeline, so I want to check out Samurai.
I've committed to being caught up on the top 10, so I'm almost there.
Yeah, so for me, it's the Lusa Samurai. Once I catch up with the Lusa Samurai and everything, I'm gonna catch up to this Monday series that people have been hyping up. It's called Dun 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 Dun. I think it's how you pronounce it.
Oh, Dun 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 Dun.
Yeah, I think.
Dun.
Yeah. I'm gonna just call it 3Ds. Some just call it that because
Triple D. That's drive-ins, diners, and diets. What's wrong with you? Guy Fieri can come and choke slam you.
Guy Fieri is gonna come in now.
Welcome to Flavor Town. But for me, I think my top chapters this week, and this might surprise you. So top 3 in order: JJK, Black Clover, and My Hero.
Ooh.
Straight up for me. Like I love My Hero, but this Black Clover chapter was
good. It was good.
Very good.
Like My Hero, like Hirokoshi just came back from break, and
Yeah, I mean, he
showed a
gave me
chapter
something
two.
that I didn't know that I wanted, but I really enjoyed. I really liked it. Yeah.
And I still haven't read the 6P, so I still haven't read that.
Yes.
It's you know how first chapters in Shonen is. It's usually not the first chapter that hooks you. It's like
Also, I guess you read it while we were talking about Clover.
no, I read it like yesterday or a few days ago, like before
Was it-
it came out.
Give a rating. Choose a rating to Cells. First chapter only.
That's 6.
That's a 6. Okay, that's lower than I thought he was gonna say. I just said like a
Okay.
7 or
I
7.5.
mean, it's higher than I thought he was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it's the
Interesting.
first chapter. It's like
How's the art?
plain.
Okay, plain. Okay, cool. All right.
Because you know how like main characters has that weird, funky color, different color hair. Nope, our main character is blonde hood. But all the other characters have other colors of the
Takamichi.
rainbow.
Tokyo Revengers shout out because I love that. I love Tokyo Revengers. Just, word to the wise if you know Tokyo Revengers.
And plus, Spike's Family was a good chapter today. It was remember guys, it's
It
bi-weekly
was
only.
good, but for me, it literally just pushed more of the My Hero chapter in a way because they had the both same motivation.
Yeah,
or
the same motivation
chapter.
of like, what do you fight for? Like, what is it that drives you? Like, what's your
Which
motivation?
is always a great question to see answered. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I like this chapter of Spike's Family as well, because it give you a remember of what you do, like why you killing these people. Are you doing it for your country?
I will say,
Are you doing it for your
really
family?
wanna
Like, what are you doing it for?
I really want to catch up on Dr. Stone because I want us to talk about
Are you caught up to Dr. Stone?
it. I'm good. So after I finish catching up on what was I reading?
You was reading One Piece?
No, so One Piece is going to be the overall one that I'm still reading until I'm caught up. But what was the other series that I was catching up on that I was like, yeah, let me catch up. Oh, Undead Unluck. Once I finish catching up on Undead Unluck, then I'm jumping into Dr. Stone. So,
Okay.
yeah, boy.
All right. So other than that, guys, this is the coverage of Weekly Shonen Jump issue 42 of Shonen Ronin of Kaiju number 8, The Hunter's Red Guild, JJK, My Hero Academia, and Black Clover. Those are 5 series that we do coverage for this weekly issue of 42. And definitely, guys, if you want us to cover any other series down below, let us know what you guys want us to talk about, discuss, read down below. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Check out Discord. Where to find us is all down below of Twitter, IG, Facebook, wherever to find us. YouTube channel as well. Twitch.tv/anime.
I mean, you should guys be watching this on YouTube now, so subscribe down
we
there.
might have a special episode this week because Dragon Ball Super and Boruto are coming out tomorrow. So,
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm home actually early tomorrow since I start work at 5 in the morning.
word?
So yeah, I'm
Tomorrow's
home
a really
early.
busy day for me, but I might still have time.
Yeah, I'm home tomorrow early evening, so we could definitely do a small
It's
Shonen
also
Ronin
been a
show.
while. It's also
It
been
has
a
been a
while.
while. We haven't talked about those in a while, so yeah, we
Yeah,
might do it.
definitely, and super been good. So definitely, guys, there might be a show. So definitely check out Twitter, the YouTube community post as well as where we give updates. So definitely check that out. Other than that, guys, see you guys. Have a lovely Sunday. Have a lovely afternoon. Take care of yourself mentally, physically as well, guys. See you guys in the next one.